The story begins with a girl named Sophia, a shark researcher. She and her team were in the Pacific Ocean, tracking a shark named Lilith. They had been monitoring Lilith for a long time and were waiting for the moment she appeared on their radar again. Their goal was to collect a sample from the shark and conduct research on it. Suddenly, the radar detected a signal, indicating that Lilith was approaching their location. Without wasting any time, 4 members of the team, including Sophia's husband, dived into the ocean to find her. During their search, they discovered the enormous body of a baby whale. Even though it was young, its size was massive. The horrifying part was that half of its body had been eaten. As they wondered what kind of creature could have killed such a giant whale, the answer appeared right in front of them. It was Lilith. 2 months earlier, when they had last examined her, Lilith had been only 2.5 meters long. But now, she had grown to almost 7 meters. In just 2 months, she had become nearly 3 times her original size, leaving everyone shocked. At that moment, the smartest decision would have been to escape and save themselves. However, Sophia's husband made a fatal mistake. Despite seeing death standing before him, he insisted on taking a sample from Lilith. To collect it, he stabbed the shark. The moment he did, everything went terribly wrong. Lilith lost control and attacked the team, tearing the 4 divers apart one by one. From the boat, Sophia and her friend watched the horrifying incident unfold before their eyes. They were terrified, but Sophia gathered her courage and jumped into the water, hoping that someone had survived. Instead, she found only the scattered remains of her teammates, brutally killed by Lilith. Blood was everywhere. Then, Lilith appeared in front of Sophia once again. She looked like a monster. Lilith attacked Sophia and dragged her deep into the ocean. Somehow, against all odds, Sophia managed to survive. At this point, the scene changes, and the story moves forward 3 years later. Now, Sophia had stopped researching sharks. She now worked as an aquarium guide, where she taught visiting children about different kinds of fish. The children enjoyed listening to her. At the same time, a girl named Mika was working as a marine activist. She ran an organization called Saviors of Sea, whose mission was to protect marine life and save every creature living in the ocean. One day, Mika met Sophia and took her to her headquarters. There, she revealed shocking information. Lilith, the shark Sophia had researched years ago, was approaching the Seine River in Paris and was about to enter the city. Mika asked Sophia to help examine and track Lilith. However, Sophia refused. She explained that sharks often migrate from one place to another because of changes in weather. Although traveling from the Pacific Ocean to the Seine River seemed unusual, she believed that no shark, including Lilith, could survive in the river's fresh water. According to her, Lilith would eventually turn back. Another reason for Sophia's refusal was the painful past connected to her previous encounter with Lilith. The trauma prevented her from becoming involved in shark research again. After giving these reasons, Sophia left. Meanwhile, 2 boys standing near the Seine River discovered 2 small missiles in the water. Soon, the police arrived and collected them. They reassured everyone that unexploded shells and small missiles from World War II were sometimes found in the river, so there was no need to panic. Later that night, Mika returned to the Seine River with her friend to investigate whether Lilith had really entered the area. Mika's friend dived into the river and discovered markings that appeared to belong to the fins of a large shark. However, the police soon arrived because conducting such an investigation there was illegal. Mika was arrested, while her friend managed to escape. Soon after, Sophia used her tracking system and discovered the truth. Lilith had indeed entered the Seine River. The next morning, the police recovered the body of the man who had died in a car accident near the Seine River the previous night. Everyone was horrified by the condition of the body because half of it was missing. It was obvious that a large creature had eaten him. Sophia and Mika were also present with the police officers near the river. After examining the body, Sophia clearly stated that this was Lilith's doing. She warned everyone that they had to stop the shark if they wanted to prevent more people from losing their lives. However, Mika misunderstood Sophia's intention. She believed that stopping the shark meant killing it. Since Mika was a marine activist dedicated to protecting sea creatures, she refused to let that happen. Even though Lilith had already killed people, Mika was determined to save the shark. The following day, Sophia joined the police officers at the Seine River. Their plan was to enter the river and capture the shark before anyone else was harmed. Sophia helped the team track Lilith's location, and everything was going according to plan. They were getting closer to the shark. But at that crucial moment, Mika created a major problem. With the help of her hacker friend, she interfered with Sophia's tracking system and disrupted its signals. As a result of Mika's actions, Sophia's tracking system stopped working, and the officers lost the shark's location. The situation became even more dangerous because the officers were still inside the river. Fortunately, Lilith changed her route, giving the team enough time to escape safely. However, this created a much bigger problem. The officers immediately informed the mayor. She became worried because a major event was scheduled to take place on the Seine River within the next few days, and canceling it was not an option. Determined to prevent disaster, the authorities began searching for a way to stop Lilith. Meanwhile, Mika secretly recorded a video and sent it to marine activists. In the video, she claimed that the government wanted to kill Lilith and other sharks like her. She urged everyone to protect them. She then asked the activists to gather that night in the catacombs of Paris, a vast network of underground tunnels stretching beneath the city. Before the plan could unfold, one of Mika's friends informed the police about the secret meeting. The authorities discovered that the shark was currently inside the catacombs. That night, Mika arrived at the catacombs with the marine activists. Sophia and the police officers also went there after learning about Mika's plan. Soon, an argument broke out between the officers and the activists. In the middle of the chaos, Mika jumped into the underground river to prove that sharks were not dangerous to humans. But she was wrong. A shark suddenly appeared. It was not Lilith. Soon, several more sharks emerged from the darkness. In that terrifying moment, Mika's belief collapsed. The sharks attacked her without mercy, and she was killed. Panic spread among the activists. Realizing the danger, they ran in every direction, and their plan to save the sharks turned into a disaster. Many activists fell into the water and became victims of the sharks. The underground river turned into a scene of chaos as people fought to escape. Eventually, the authorities managed to control the situation and rescue the survivors. During the aftermath, one of the dead sharks was examined by Sophia. She discovered that it was a 2-month-old female shark, and the findings shocked everyone. The young shark was pregnant. Even more astonishing, it contained numerous baby sharks inside its body. Sophia realized that these sharks had an unusual reproductive ability, allowing them to produce many offspring at a very young age. This meant their population could increase rapidly. She also discovered that these sharks were capable of surviving in freshwater. They had inherited this adaptation from Lilith, who had evolved to endure changing environmental conditions and live outside the ocean. Based on this evidence, Sophia and the others feared that there could already be thousands of these sharks living throughout the catacombs of Paris. Because of this horrifying discovery, the authorities decided that the only solution was to blow up the catacombs and eliminate the sharks hiding there. The next day, the long-awaited swimming event finally arrived. Hundreds of people gathered to participate in the race across the Seine River. The public was never informed about the danger of sharks because the mayor refused to cancel the event for her own interests. Instead, police officers and trained marine teams were deployed into the river to monitor the situation. A massive net was stretched across one side of the river so that if a shark approached, it would become trapped. At the same time, Sophia and the senior officer entered the catacombs to trigger the explosives placed at the main location. Everyone took their assigned positions. Inside the dark tunnels, Sophia and the senior officer moved carefully through the underground passage. When the senior officer switched on his flashlight, they witnessed a terrifying sight. Thousands of young sharks surrounded them. Although they were still babies, they were enormous in size. The sight left the officer terrified. The explosives had already been placed, but before they could be detonated, one of the sharks attacked the senior officer. Despite being seriously injured, he managed to activate the explosives. The blast killed some of the young sharks, and the wounded officer was pulled to safety. Meanwhile, Sophia returned toward the river. At that moment, Lilith swam past her. Seeing the remains of her dead offspring filled Lilith with rage. In anger she smashed through the giant net and headed straight toward the location where the swimming competition had already begun. Panic erupted when Lilith reached the event and attacked one of the swimmers, killing him instantly. The peaceful race turned into a nightmare. Then, countless sharks appeared in the river. The Seine was thrown into complete chaos as people screamed and desperately tried to escape while the deadly predators closed in on them. These sharks had not been living inside the catacombs, which was why they had survived the explosions. Their numbers were far greater than anyone had imagined. The sharks began attacking the people participating in the swimming event. Within moments, the Seine River turned red with blood, and bodies were scattered everywhere. At the same time, another disastrous mistake was made. A police officer fired a sniper shot at one of the sharks. However, the bullet struck the unexploded missiles that had been lying at the bottom of the river since World War II. Although they had remained hidden for decades, they were still active. The first missile exploded, triggering a chain reaction. One after another, countless missiles detonated beneath the river. Massive explosions shook Paris, creating scenes similar to a tsunami. The river overflowed violently, and enormous waves swept through large parts of the city, leaving destruction in their wake. When the chaos finally settled, only Sophia and the senior officer remained standing, helplessly witnessing the devastation around them. Corpses covered the area, while numerous sharks continued swimming through the flooded streets. Reports soon revealed an even more terrifying truth: because of the tsunami, the sharks had begun moving into nearby regions. As a result, they started spreading across the country. The most frightening possibility was that these sharks could eventually spread throughout the world, bringing unimaginable destruction wherever they went. This looming threat placed all of humanity in danger. With this heartbreaking and terrifying outcome, the story comes to an end.